good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. Well, this video, you know what I'm going to talk about something very interesting that people have been asking me for quite some time. It's just that I've never gotten to it, never gotten around to the subject and stuff. So since I'm out driving out of state, going to another state, I thought I'd just go ahead and touch on it here this morning for a minute. I'm going to touch on the subject of concubines. All right, concubines. This ought to be interesting. Concubines is one subject that no matter what religious affiliation, no matter what religious institution, or it makes no difference. There's a house for rent down there. Home church, whatever you want to get it, I don't know. It makes no difference. But the bottom line is, most people are afraid to touch subjects like this. And the reason why they're afraid to touch them because they're personal up front. Because I'm going to show you the decline in this society. In Hebrew culture, the Hebraic culture, and that's not Israeli. That's not Jewish Israeli. It's talking about the original Hebrews. Women just simply did not go around without any covering. If they did, it was for a very, very short period of time because they were tribal type people. That's the reason why that you will see a man that would have one wife, two wives, three wives, or maybe 6, 7, 8 concubines. The majority of those concubines were maid servants to the wives. And the reason why that a woman would even consider in Israel or wanting to be a concubine, and mind you, a concubine wasn't a negative, it was not a negative or derogatory slant like we view it today from our pagan Roman mindset based on American influence. It was all about belonging. It was all about being able to be covered. It was all about having someone to be able to provide for you because our women back then just couldn't go down to Walmart and get a career with Walmart for the next 20 years and have to take care of themselves. They just simply didn't function and operate that way. So a woman would join herself to a family if she did not get marriage rights. And of course, marriage rights mean that you have an inheritance coming, an inheritance coming. Because you have a higher status. The concubines would secure themselves based on the children that they had by the man or the family that they were joined to. Now let's contrast that to today, because I think that the Hebrews or the Bible has it right, and I think that modern day society, pagans, have it wrong. And that does mean all your religious institutions and they use the Bible to support their own theology and doctrines. Because you'll find out that the Bible doesn't agree with your theologies and doctrines simply because you got buildings and institutions and people out here. The Bible is very clear. And so most people are practicing this exegesis, eisegesis, whenever they want, but that's all right. Let's go on with it now. So we see that a woman in Israel, be her a woman of marriageable age, a maiden, a virgin, or concubine, they were always covered. A woman in Israel did not leave her father's house unless she was to be betrothed or to be married. All right. When the man actually came to get her and would take him back to his place, the marriage was simply him going into her. There was no state. There was no government approval. There was no licenses involved. That's just simply it was. And that woman, especially if she was a virgin, her status was different than those who are not virgins. There's a different status for those who are widows, those who are divorcees, or those who've been abandoned. But the Torah covers every single bit of it and gives us the right rulings and how we should go forth. But it all has to do with status. Okay? Now, a concubine could end up becoming a wife. And that's based upon her amount of years of service. That's based upon whatever the man chooses to decide, or if he chooses to decide to ever change her status. Let's look at this today. Today we have this pagan society that has, boyfriend, girlfriends. The truth is, women, you're being sold cheap. You're being, as a matter of fact, you're being done very, very wrong. That's the reason why there's not too many honorable women left in the world today, because in ancient Israel, or in Israel, a woman would keep herself until she got married. Today, women don't keep themselves until they get married. And again, that marriage is not a ceremony standing in front of some pagan preacher who supports Sunday, Christmas, and Easter. The marriage actually took place the day that that man went into her and she became his wife, especially if she was a virgin, and that woman become his property, so to speak. And I know that many of you with this modern pagan mindset don't like this kind of talk, but it's just a fact. So you've got men today talking about, I got a girlfriend, or you have a man that has a wife and a girlfriend, or a wife or mistress. You see the difference in the terminology, yet and still it's still the same thing. The difference is that in Israel culture, be it a wife or a concubine, they both are honored, because a concubine just didn't say, okay, I don't like you today, and then I'm breaking up with you and I'm going out to the over here to the next tribe, and because I like the way this guy looked. That ain't the way it done it. When that woman was up under that man's covering, she belonged to that man, and she was part of that family until he died. But today, women are loose. They one minute you get into a fight, I don't like you, then they go over to the next man, then they go over to the next man, and nobody is trying to be honorable. Nobody is trying to keep their honor or virginity until marriage. And of course, and that's the reason why you have a lot of these chaotic mindsets right here, because woman, anytime you got a man going inside of you, you are receiving his DNA, and you're not designed. You're like a field. You're not designed to be crossbred or cross-seeded, if I can use that. But you look at this world and society today, and look what they teach you, and you buy it hook, line, and sinker. And instead of looking for standing, instead of looking for somebody who's going to be responsible and respect you, you're looking for romance. And that romance has failed you over and over again, because you don't know how to be romanced. Because you've had so many men inside of you, outside of you, inside of you, outside of you, and it's just a mess, and you become a mess. And our society is a mess. So how in the world are you going to get a woman today to raise a daughter to be honorable, when the daughter inevitably is going to learn from your lifestyle and your mistakes? Because the children ain't buying it, they ain't playing it today. They're not buying and playing today. You're going to sit up there and expect holiness and righteousness out of them, and you've been turned more times than a doorknob. It's just ridiculous. It really, truly is. And I know I'm making painful statements, very painful statements, but just hear me out here. Because what I'm trying to do is recover the minds of women. And I put a lot of emphasis on women because the Bible does. For instance, if a woman is single and she is not married, did you know that she cannot commit adultery? That's another video. I'll just leave it at that, because I know society and church has your mind framed a certain way, but it's not biblical. So it was all about status. It was all about inherited. It's all about being part of a family. Look at the deer. So, you just couldn't, a woman just couldn't just jump one guy and go to another guy because she belonged to that man. And that's just the way it was. Today, women are literally, through ignorance, being destroyed for a lack of knowledge, are selling themselves out cheap. I mean, very, very cheap. Her anchor, and of course they have them like this today. You know how many women today who actually will see a guy, and women think totally different than men. Women size men up. Women watch men very, very carefully. They watch their every move. They watch their character. They watch their nature. They look at their body, their structure, their attitude and stuff, and they determine if they want to allow that man to go into them. And many of them will actually get a hold of a man, especially if he has means, meaning a good job or something like that. They will open themselves wide open, and this is what they'll do. Check this out. They'll want that man for sex, only for this man to impregnate her and get what you would call a trap baby. A trap baby is a baby that once this man impregnates this woman and stuff, that whether she has a common marriage license or not, he would have to actually pay, according to the government, for this child's upkeep for the next 18 years. And it's a trap baby. See, And that's the way society functions. And that's why you see so many mothers out there with 3, 4, 5 different babies by 3 and 4, 5 different men. It's because the mind is all messed up. Society is messed up. The societal order is messed up. The churches are messed up. They're all just jacked up. And so they'll get these babies and stuff. And of course, you know, the state is not about to have a bunch of what you would call bastards. You hear what I'm saying? On it. The state is not going to have a bunch of bastards on it. So what the state does is the state turns around and it goes after the man to make sure that its children are taken care of. And so that's the reason why we have a society messed up, because you see, the truth is, woman, until you have a writ or a bill of divorcement in your hand or something like that, are you following me? You belong to that man. But today what we have is a bunch of broken contracts, thereby causing the women to commit adultery. And mind you, the Most High does not care one bit, not one iota about the laws of America. The Most High don't care about America. He don't care about any country in this world. You can say God bless America all you want and be patriotic and stuff, but the Most High only cares about his plan. He only cares about his laws, his statutes, his commandments. He's not going to tell children of Israel, okay, I love you. Now that you belong to these pagans over here, I want you to exalt their laws above mine. No man can serve 2 masters. And that's the reason why you need to get this thing, because America is the great Satan, a strong delusion. It really truly is. And these politicians and everybody is playing God in your lives. And it's a sad situation. So you're not going to get churches to talk about this, not at all. Because if you want to stop what you call fornication today, you tell a man every time he goes inside of a woman, he's responsible for her and he has to take care of her for the rest of her life. If he has any honor at all, he's going to be like, what in the world? You know, I get horror stories of, there's not too many women that would turn down marriage. Some will, some won't. But there's not too many women of marriageable age that would actually turn down marriage because they want to be a part. They're incomplete without having a man in their life to be whole. And that's just a fact. So, with that said, I've got men going around here humbling young maidens. And they're telling them they're going to make them a wife. And then after that, they leave them and ostracize them and put them away without a bill of divorcement. Isn't that amazing? But the Bible says if you take a virgin and you humble her, I don't care which anyway, if it be a rape, or you decide, or y'all both agreed, that woman is yours all the days of your life, and you are commanded by the Bible to not put her away. Well, anyway, men put her away, and now they causing the woman, they're dealing treacherously with the wife of their youth. And what happens is while they're dealing treacherously with the wife of their youth, this woman goes out and finds a man that doesn't have a writ or a bill of divorcement. And next thing you know, he causes her to commit adultery. See, that is what the Messiah was talking about. Because the subject of the Pharisees, and I know I'm done went from concubine to marriage, it's crazy. But anyway, the Pharisees, they were using words kind of like this wicked system we call justice today. This is not a justice system. It's just us. That's what it is, meaning them. But they said, is it lawful for a man to put away? And Yah hates putting away. Yah never said in the book that he hate divorce, because he regulated in Deuteronomy 24, Devarim 24. And I guess what I'm trying to say is if you don't understand marriage, if you don't understand the covenant, then a lot of you people who fancy yourself to be preachers and teachers, it's best off if you just shut up, because you can really screw up a lot of people's lives. Big time. And of course, we live in a world where people have little honor, if any at all. And you basically got a bunch of women and children running around here like a bunch of refugees, because no man wants to be responsible for their duties and obligation. Men want to go around here and they want to bed women, but they don't want to be responsible for taking care of them. And thereby, that's why we have a nation of whoremongers. And I feel sorry for you women. I really, truly do. I feel sorry for you because you haven't been taught anything in your life whatsoever at all. None. And it's just a sad situation, and it's a hurtful thing. But it's going to take somebody like me who understands the Torah, the laws and statutes and commandments to actually, bring this thing full circle and right to our understanding today, our comprehension or overstanding. But I don't expect everybody to hear it because many of your minds have gone too far into the world. Have literally gone too far into the world. Well, I hope I've said something to inspire you. I can make this video easily an hour and a half long, but I'm not about to do that. I'm going to go ahead and call this video quits for right now, and maybe we'll come back with Concubine 2, and I might not digress into other subjects like I have a tendency to do. It's kind of laughable and funny after I go back and look at a video myself. I say, man, you're supposed to be talking about concubines, how you end off in marriage and divorce and girlfriends and boyfriends and everything. Well, anyway, I'm sure that y'all tolerated me for a little amount of time. Mind you, most people, they don't want to know about this. Nah, you watch and see how little views that this particular subject get. I talk about some foolishness, man, it'll go to the zenith.